and Völuspá. 1225 CE. Iceland. Prose Edda written by Snorri Sturluson. Systematizes Loki's mythology including Baldur's death, shape-shifting episodes, and Ragnarok role. 1875 CE. Europe. Expanded 19th century translations of the Eddas circulate widely. Loki re-enters modern intellectual consciousness during Romantic and philological movements. 1962 CE. United States. Journey into Mystery Number 85 introduces Marvel's Loki. First modern superhero reinterpretation of Loki as recurring antagonist to Thor. 1963 CE. United States. Loki appears in the Avengers #1. Positions Loki as catalyst villain responsible for forming the Avengers team. 1994 CE. United States. Loki appears in Marvel animated series adaptations. Expands Loki's presence to television audiences and younger demographics. 2011 CE. Global. Release of Marvel Studios' Thor. Tom Hiddleston's portrayal redefines Loki as charismatic manipulative anti-hero for modern audiences. 2012 CE. Global. Release of The Avengers. Solidifies Loki as central MCU antagonist and global pop culture icon. 2013 CE. Global. Release of Thor, The Dark World. Deepens Loki's complexity, shifting from villain to morally ambiguous figure. 2017 CE. Global. Release of Thor, Ragnarok. Repositions Loki as reluctant ally, emphasizes trickster charm over pure villainy. 2018 CE. Global. Release of Avengers, Infinity War. Loki's apparent death elevates him to tragic anti-hero status within the MCU. 2019 CE. Global. Release of Avengers, Endgame, where an alternate Loki escapes with the Tesseract. Creates the multiverse variant leading directly into a standalone series. 2021 CE. Global. Disney Plus series Loki premieres, Season 1. Reframes Loki as a multiversal anti-hero and explores identity and destiny. 2023 CE. Global. Loki Season 2 premieres. Concludes his transformation into a cosmic stabilizer figure, cementing his evolution from manipulator to multiversal architect. Pre-Loki trickster traits, cunning, boundary crossing, shape-shifting, circulate in oral tradition before attested Norse texts. 800 CE. Scandinavia and North Atlantic. Viking Age expansion spreads Norse cosmology. Myths involving Odin, Thor, and Loki spread through raiding, trade, and settlement, embedding Loki deeper in the shared Norse mythic framework. 900 CE. Iceland, Scandinavia. Loki appears fully integrated in Eddic-style oral cycles. Core Loki narratives, mischief, shape-shifting, alliance with Odin, and tension with other gods, stabilize in the oral tradition. 1000 CE. Norway, Iceland, Denmark. Christianization of Scandinavia accelerates. Norse myths begin to be preserved by Christian scribes. Loki's image shifts toward a more adversarial, devil-adjacent figure in later interpretation. 1220 CE. Iceland. Compilation of the Poetic Edda. Primary source preserving Loki's mythic narratives including Lokasenna and Völuspá. 1225 CE. Iceland. Prose Edda written by Snorri Sturluson. Systematizes Loki's mythology including Baldur's death, shape-shifting episodes, and Ragnarok role. 1875 CE. Europe. Expanded 19th century translations of the Eddas circulate widely. Loki re-enters modern intellectual consciousness during Romantic and philological movements. 1962 CE. United States. Journey into Mystery Number 85 introduces Marvel's Loki. First modern superhero reinterpretation of Loki as recurring antagonist to Thor. 1963 CE. United States. Loki appears in the Avengers #1. Positions Loki as catalyst villain responsible for forming the Avengers team. 1994 CE. United States. Loki appears in Marvel animated series adaptations. Expands Loki's presence to television audiences and younger demographics. 2011 CE. Global. Release of Marvel Studios' Thor. Tom Hiddleston's portrayal redefines Loki as charismatic manipulative anti-hero for modern audiences. 2012 CE. Global. Release of The Avengers. Solidifies Loki as central MCU antagonist and global pop culture icon. 2013 CE. Global. Release of Thor, The Dark World. Deepens Loki's complexity, shifting from villain to morally ambiguous figure. 2017 CE. Global. Release of Thor, Ragnarok. Repositions Loki as reluctant ally, emphasizes trickster charm over pure villainy. 2018 CE. Global. Release of Avengers, Infinity War. Loki's apparent death elevates him to tragic anti-hero status within the MCU. 2019 CE. Global. Release of Avengers, Endgame, where an alternate Loki escapes with the Tesseract. Creates the multiverse variant leading directly into a standalone series. 2021 CE. Global. Disney Plus series Loki premieres, Season 1. Reframes Loki as a multiversal anti-hero and explores identity and destiny. 2023 CE. Global. Loki Season 2 premieres. Concludes his transformation into a cosmic stabilizer figure, cementing his evolution from manipulator to multiversal architect.
Goddess who did not accept drought. In the late Bronze Age city of Ugarit, along the coast of what is now Syria, clay tablets are pressed with cuneiform signs that preserve one of the oldest storm myths in recorded history. Among those tablets was the story of Baal, the storm god, and within that story stands a figure who does not wait quietly for events to unfold. Her name is Anet. Now, Baal was not merely a god of thunder in this narrative. He represents rain, fertility, agricultural survival. In a region dependent on seasonal storms, Baal's vitality determines whether crops grow or fail. When Baal rises, the land flourishes. When Baal falls, droughts threaten everything. The Baal cycle describes a cosmic conflict. Baal clashes with Yam, the sea. Later, he confronts Mot, the god of death and sterility. These are not abstract enemies. Yam represents chaotic waters. Mot represents drought, dryness, the swallowing stiffness of death. And at one point in the narrative, Baal is defeated. Now, the text becomes fragmentary, but the message is clear. The storm god disappears. The rains cease. The agricultural cycle halts. And for a Bronze Age society, this is not symbolic drama. This is catastrophe. And this is where Anat enters with force. Anat is often described as Baal's sister. In some traditions, she is also his ally or consort. But the text makes one thing unmistakable. She is not subordinate. She is fierce, independent, emotionally intense. When Baal falls, Anat does not collapse into mourning. She reacts. The Ugaritic texts describe her rage in striking terms. She seeks out those who are responsible. She seizes enemies. She attacks without hesitation. The language is violent. She grabs warriors. She splits them. She scatters bodies. One passage describes her wading knee-deep in blood. Another describes her rejoicing in slaughter. This detail is uncomfortable for modern ears, but it tells us something important. In this world, violence carried out in defense of cosmic order is not shameful. It's necessary. Anat does not hesitate because hesitation would mean drought continues. She does not negotiate because negotiation does not bring rain. And myth does not portray her as irrational. It portrays her as decisive. The slaughter imagery is vivid, almost ritualistic. The battlefield becomes a space of sacred correction. Blood is not randomly cruel, it's restoration through force, through tribal theology. Anat's loyalty to Baal is absolute. When he is threatened, she becomes the weapon. But her most significant confrontation is not merely with human enemies. It is with Mot. Mot is not simply a rival deity. Mot represents death itself, sterility, dry earth, the swallowing void that ends growth. So when Baal descends into the realm of Mot, drought grips the land. Anat searches for him. Now, the texts describe her journey into grief, but grief does not paralyze her. She confronts Mot directly. The fragment suggests imagery once again. Anat seizes Mot. She cuts him. She burns him. In some reconstructions, she grinds him and scatters him like grain. Even if the exact sequence varies due to damaged tablets, the symbolic pattern is unmistakable. She does not reason with death. She dismantles it. This is not a goddess of comfort. This is a goddess of intervention. The violence serves a purpose. Eventually, Baal returns. The storm resumes and rain falls. Thus, fertility is restored. Without Anat's ferocity, that restoration does not occur. Now, in the structure of myth, Baal may be the storm, but Anat is the enforcer of its return. She is not ornamental to the story. She is essential to the resolution. Now, archaeologically, her presence is not confined to myth alone. Inscriptions and cultic materials found in Ugarit confirms that she was actively worshipped. Kemetic or Egyptian texts mention her name, indicating a cross-cultural recognition. Later inscriptions referencing Anat Yahu suggest that her memory survived into adapted forms even beyond the collapse of Ugarit. But the Baal cycle remains her clearest portrayal. In that portrait, Anat is not the nurturing mother archetype familiar in many myth systems. She is tribal protector. She is the embodiment of loyalty carried to its extreme. Her joy in battle is not random cruelty. It reflects a worldview in which survival is fragile and threats are constant. The late Bronze Age Levant was not a stable world. City-states rose and fell. Agricultural cycles could fall. Warfare was common, and political alliances shifted. A society in that environment does not imagine divinity as passive. It imagines divinity as fiercely protective. Anat does not apologize for violence. She sanctifies it when it preserves order. This is a crucial distinction. Her brutality is not chaos. It's simply boundary enforcement. She defends Baal. She defends fertility. She defends continuity. And in that way, Anat represents a specific kind of sacred feminine power. Not romantic love, not cosmic abstraction, but embodied physical defense. Her myth forces uncomfortable questions. Can violence actually be sacred? Can destruction be restorative? Is loyalty more important than mercy in unstable societies? Now, from the authors of the Baal cycle, the answer appears to be yes. Anat's blood-soaked battlefield is not a moral failure. It is divine necessity. And that necessity restores the storm. When Baal rises again, the land breathes. Rain falls, crops grow, life resumes. The cycle continues. Anat does not claim the throne. She does not demand worship in the text climax. She recedes once balance is restored. The restraint is telling. She is not driven by conquest. She is driven by defense. Her violence has purpose, and when that purpose is fulfilled, she stands down. In comparative mythology, Anat stands apart because of the clarity of her ferocity. She is not softened. She is not reinterpreted as gentle. The tablets preserve her intense, unapologetic, and loyal. That preservation gives us a rare insight into the psychology of ancient culture. In a fragile world, survival is sacred. In a fragile world, protection may require force. Anat embodies the logic without hesitation. She is not storm, she is not fire. She is blade and blood in defense of continuity. In the Baal cycle, drought threatens civilization. Anat refuses to let drought win. And in that refusal, she becomes one of the most striking examples of the fierce, protective, feminine in ancient Near East. She is the goddess who did not accept death as final. She is the one who confronted drought with steel. She is Anat.
The living timeline of the great goddesses. 4000 BCE. The Nile Valley, Kemet. The earliest worship of Atha emerges in predynastic Egypt. This establishes one of the oldest known divine feminine traditions, linking the goddess to fertility, nourishment, music, and the life-giving power of the Nile. 3500 BCE. Uruk, in ancient Sumer. The goddess Inanna begins to appear in temple worship and early myth. She becomes one of humanity's earliest recorded deities of love, sexuality, power, and divine authority. 3200 BCE. Uruk, Sumer. Inanna becomes closely associated with sacred kingship and temple institutions. This connects political authority directly to divine feminine power, legitimizing rulers through the goddess. 3100 BCE. Uruk, Sumer. The great temple complex of Eanna is dedicated to Inanna. This temple becomes the primary religious center of her worship and a major hub of early urban civilization. 3000 BCE. Early dynastic Egypt. Atha's cult expands across Egypt as a national goddess. She becomes associated with joy, motherhood, music, and the nurturing aspects of divine femininity. 2300 BCE. The Akkadian Empire. Sargon of Akkad promotes the worship of Inanna under the name Ishtar. This spreads her influence across Mesopotamia and transforms her into a goddess of both love and war. Around 2285 BCE. Yor, in Mesopotamia. The priestess Enheduanna composes hymns honoring Inanna. These writings represent the earliest known literature authored by a named human in recorded history. 2000 BCE. The Levant and Canaan. The goddess Astarte emerges within West Semitic religion. She represents fertility, sexuality, and warfare, becoming a powerful figure across Canaanite and Phoenician cultures. 1500 BCE. Ugarit, in modern Syria. Texts record the goddess Asherah as consort of the high god El and mother of the gods. This establishes her as a great maternal figure within the Canaanite divine family. 1400 BCE. Ugarit. Astarte appears in mythological tablets alongside other West Semitic deities. Her role expands as both a goddess of fertility and a divine warrior. 1300 BCE. Egypt. The myth of Atha transforming into the destructive force of Sekhmet appears in solar mythology. This story demonstrates the dual nature of divine feminine power, nurturing life but capable of cosmic destruction. 1200 BCE. The Eastern Mediterranean world. The Late Bronze Age collapse reshapes civilizations across the region. Despite political collapse, the worship of powerful goddesses like Astarte and Ether continues. 1000 BCE. Ancient Israel and surrounding territories. Inscriptions referencing Yahweh and his Asherah appear in archaeological records. These inscriptions